Hey everybody, it's In the Gutter. Let's talk comics. I'm Wade. This video is part 14 of the Screenwriter collection. We're going to look at a couple boxes this time. We're going to check out one that was labeled X-Men and one that was labeled Marvel, Star Wars / random books. So we'll kick it off with the X-Men.
This box is an X-Men blue box. And there's a few random things in here for filler. And we'll save those at the end for a surprise. Okay, we have Deadpool Black, White, and Blood #1. Wolverine Black, White, and Blood #1. X-Men Worst X-Men Ever, 2 of 5, 1 of 5, 3, 4, and 5. Multiple Man #1. House of M #1, 2, 3, where is it? Oh yeah, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. House of M The Day After. Beyond #1, 2, 3, 4. Uncanny X-Men 336, 197. X-Men Annual #6. Uncanny 335. Join the Uncanny X-Men #1. I guess. Oh, well, sorry. #2. Amazing X-Men #1. #2. All New X-Men #1. 2. X-Men 55. X-Men 41. X-Men Alpha 1. X-Men Omega 1. X-Men Prime 1. X-Men 56. X-Men Annual 12. Giant Size X-Men #3. X-Men 200. Magneto #3. #2. And #1. and 4. Ultimate Origins #1. Excuse me. X-Men Nation 2099 #1. X-Men Children of the Atom Book 1. X-Men Onslaught. Marvel Universe Onslaught. Cable 35. X-Men 198 #1. Wolverine #2, 3, 105. What is this number? 100. Wolverine Origins 1. Wolverine The Best There Is 1. Marvel Comics Logan #1. #2. 3. How can they both? Maybe it's a variant cover, I'm guessing. Okay, Death of Wolverine #1. 2, 3, and 4. Return of Wolverine 1. Wolverine Scotty Young variant. Not sure what it is. Astonishing X-Men #1. #1. #2. #3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Giant Size Astonishing X-Men #1. Astonishing X-Men #13. Obnoxio the Clown #1. Wolverine the Punisher Revelation #4. Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown number 2. The End, Deadpool number 1. Deadpool number 1. Deadpool number 2. Number 3. 4. 5. Deadpool number 1 again. Good golly. I have no idea. Black Panther versus Deadpool 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deadpool versus Thanos 1. Deadpool versus the Punisher 1. And 2, 3, 4, 5. Hawkeye versus Deadpool 0, 1, 2. Deadpool 1, 1, 2, 3. Deadpool 1 signed by, let's see, looks like Dugan and Koblish, and I don't know. 3 signatures on this one, though. We'll figure that out later. Looks like a Deadpool secret. Let's see, variant parental. It doesn't say Deadpool and his secret shield. Deadpool's secret wars. That's what it is. So that's the number 1 action figure cover. There's number 2, 3, 4. Deadpool Too Soon, number 1. Back in Black, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deadpool kills Deadpool. I'm assuming that was the first. I don't see any numbers there. Number 2. Oh, there. Big number. Number 1, number 2. 3. I got it. Deadpool kills Deadpool number 4. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. So much killing. Number 1. Number 2. 3. 4. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe 1 variant edition. Number 2. Oh, this is Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. Come on, Marvel. Help me out. 3. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe 4. Again. 5. And Unbelievable Gwenpool, number 1. Let's see what those little filler comics were. Well, everybody's favorite Task Force Z, number 1. Crime Syndicate, number 1. Crime Syndicate 2. The Jurassic League, number 1. Task Force Z, number 2. Batman the Imposter, number 1. Free Comic Book Day Spider-Man Venom, number 1. Suicide Squad King Shark, Free Comic Book Day, number 1. Batman Catwoman, number 1. Number 1 variant. A backing board. What was this one? This is the timeless variant for, I forget what. Avengers Halloween Special, number 1. Just because we can't die wondering. What is this? Black Panther? It's killing me. I gotta know. Where's the indicia? Oh boy, I can hear people changing channels. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's timeless number 1. It was worth it.
X-Men box. Okay, we start out with House of M number 1. This is a story where Wanda Maximoff changes the Marvel Universe. I just read the trade paperback of this before buying this collection, so it's cool to see the book in the flesh. Kind of a throwback to the end of my heyday in the retail industry. We had an X-Men Alpha, X-Men Omega, and X-Men Prime. And these represented sort of these major events with highfalutin printing that, to me, signaled the end of the 90s boom. The bubble was bursting with these kinds of issues. I'm curious now, 30 years later, what kind of appeal they have, because they're still very well illustrated and have all your favorite characters in them. Hope to check that out. Just a few of the better books in the series. You had a Wolverine 2 and 3. 2's a minor key, but it's just cool to have the first few issues of our ongoing series. And who doesn't like Wolverine? And speaking of which, the Return of Wolverine. This one has a Weapon X variant cover, and as you know, you can't have a box on In the Gutter without a Scotty Young variant cover. So this Wolverine 1 is the Scotty Young variant cover. I think there were actually a couple more in that box too. So, and then Astonishing X-Men number 3 is the first cameo appearance of Abigail Brand. And Astonishing X-Men number 6 is the first full appearance of Abigail Brand and the first mention of Sword, SWORD, which is a division of S.H.I.E.L.D., SHIELD. And then I also got out of the box Astonishing X-Men number 9, which has the first Danger, which is a sentient humanoid version of the Danger Room. And I guess there's some speculation on this one. And back when Mad Magazine was in its heyday, there were a lot of other humor magazines. Marvel's was called Crazy. And Crazy featured a character named Obnoxio the Clown. Obnoxio, I think is how you pronounce it. Or it could be, excuse me, Obnoxio. And in this issue, he joins the X-Men. And this is pretty ubiquitous in every collection I've ever seen throughout my career. And this one was in this one as well. This Deadpool number 5 had a Garbage Pail Kids homage cover. I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's a lot of team ups or battle series with Deadpool. So we had a few like Black Panther versus Deadpool, Deadpool versus the Punisher, Hawkeye versus Deadpool. And this Deadpool annual number 1 is signed by a bunch of people, including Brian Posehn. That was nifty. And the Deadpool cover parodies continued with Deadpool Secret War action figure. And this just made me laugh. It's the Deadpool back in black. The cover I've seen more times than I can count, but he's sort of photobombing it there or stumbling into the scene. And then I guess there's some speculation on this storyline for the Deadpool 3 movie. This is Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. And let's clear the way here. We also have Gwenpool number 1. And during all the Kang hysteria, we pulled the Timeless number 1. This is one of the variant covers with the Time character from Loki, right? Loki from Disney Plus. Okay. Again, I do a lot of extensive research before I shoot these videos. So, anyway, I think this is part of the old Kang speculation. Could be more to come. All right, well, let's hop into the box that was labeled Marvel, Star Wars, and Random Books.
This box is labeled Marvel Star Wars and had about 4 inches of random stuff in the back that I pulled out already. Let's start with the Star Wars. So we have Star Wars Life Day. One shot perhaps, or number 1. Empire Strikes Back, 40th anniversary cover. Star Wars number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 15, 16, 40, Star Wars Annual 1, Star Wars Annual number 2, Star Wars Annual 3, 4, Star Wars Hidden Empire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Star Wars The High Republic number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Halcyon Legacy number 1, 2, 3, 5. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge number 1. Star Wars Shattered Empire, number 1. Number 2, number 3, number 4, Age of Rebellion Special, number 1. Whoa. Number 1 variant, or actually Age of Rebellion Jabba the Hutt, number 1 variant, maybe. Obi-Wan, number 1, Obi-Wan, number 2, 3, 4, 5, The Mandalorian, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Yoda, number 1, 2, Star Wars Revelations, number 1 variant edition, Han Solo and Chewbacca, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Chewbacca, number 2, number 1, number 3, 4, 5, Age of Rebellion Lando Calrissian, number 1, Lando, number 2, 3, 4, 5, Lando 1, I guess just number 1, Star Wars Empire 1, Han Solo 2, 3, 4, 5, Sanastaros, number 1, Poe Dameron, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, C-3PO, number 1, Droids Unplugged, number 1, Bounty Hunters, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt, number 1, Jabba's Palace, number 1, War of the Bounty Hunters, number 4, Bounty Hunters 14, War of the Bounty Hunters 5, War of the Bounty Hunters Boosh, number 1, Forlom and Zuckuss, number 1, The Rise of Kylo Ren, number 2, 3, 4, Age of Resistance Supreme Leader Snoke, number 1, Dr. Aphra, number 2, Dr. Aphra, number 3, Dr. Aphra, number 4, Screaming Citadel 1, Storms of Crate, number 1, Captain Phasma, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. All right, now we'll look at the odds and ends. We have Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, number 1. Superman Space Age, number 2. Number 3. Free Comic Book Day Black collects it. I don't know what that is. Clear, number 1. Superman, number 1. Superman Space Age, book 1. Human Target 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere there's a 4. Oh yeah, book 4. 5, 6, 7. No, book 1. Sorry, Tales of the Human Target, book 1. And then the Human Target, book 8 from this series. One more stack. Batman 127, 128. Multiversity, Harley Screws Up the DCU, number 1. Berserker, number 1. Number 2. We have Demons, number 1. House of Slaughter, number 1. Foil. Looks like something is killing the children. I have no idea. I'll look at it. Number 2. Loki, number 1. Dawn of DC Green Lantern, number 1. Superman Lost, number 1. 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 Scotty Young cover, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Darth Vader Black, White, and Red, number 2.
Well, as a special bonus surprise for y'all, I'm going to go back one video unboxing to the box that had all the Star Wars action figure variant covers. There were actually a couple other variants that weren't the action figure variants. I'm going to pull those out real quick and just show you. So this is the Star Wars 28 Luke negative variant. Very high design and very cool. And these two are the Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters number 4, listed as a holiday negative space web store exclusive. And there are two different takes on the same design. I like these negative space covers a lot. And I like Boba Fett. the double. All right, moving back to the boxes we just looked at. The Star Wars part of the Star Wars and Random Comics brought us the Star Wars 40th anniversary covers comic book. It's a compilation of all the Empire Strikes Back covers in one book. And then we had Star Wars High Republic #1, which is lots of first appearances. A lot of these Star Wars books have tons of first appearances in them. And this one is a speculation book because it was announced that it would be featured in other forms of media at some point. And also in the High Republic series, we had number 7, which has the first Uriah Jarini, the Jedi Knight, and first Darth Krall. Seems like this was a pretty popular series overall. I have not read it. It is interesting to me, though, so I may go back and check it out. Then we had the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge comic, which ties into the storyline from the Disneyland theme park in comic book form. And then Star Wars The Mandalorian #2 is the first full Grogu in a comic book story. And he's so cute. Star Wars Yoda #1 has the origin of Yoda and a bunch of first appearances, Star Wars characters. And I pulled the Star Wars Revelations #1 just because that is a cool Peach Momoko variant. I like this cover a lot. And then the Poe Dameron series had #2, which is the first Captain Phasma in a hologram form. So possibly a cameo. And this is just a cool variant cover of Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1 with a photo variant from the movie. And that movie was Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, if you're unfamiliar with it. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt. It's got a first appearance of Diva Lompop, who's a bounty hunter. But I think you can't go wrong with Jabba. It's a cool book to have. And then the first appearance from Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Boosh #1, the first full Boosh. Previously featured in another comic with Leia in disguise. But there you go. Star Wars The Rise of Kylo Ren series has the origin of Ben Solo throughout. This actually, #2 here also has the first mention of the High Republic. #3 is a continuation of the Ben Solo origin and has the first Avar Kriss. And #4 concludes the origin of Ben Solo. And again, this is another one of those series where the #1 is part of the action figure comics variants. So you can see why I want to bust those up and put them back into the sets. So you have the complete story, the complete run, or the complete set. And then this box also contains Star Wars Age of Resistance Supreme Leader Snoke #1. And the Dr. Aphra #3 has the Juan Jimenez variant edition. All right, and then moving on to the random book side of the box. Had a couple of fun ones in here too. Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is just a cool series I want to read, mostly because I like Mike Allred, but we have the Superman Space Age 1 through 3. The second one is, I guess, a 1 in 25 Nick Darrington incentive cover variant. And then book 3. Nice thick 80 or 100 page issues. The type of thing I usually like to sink my eyeballs into. And then I've already read this series, but this is Tom King's Human Target. Came out in a 6-month, 1 through 6, 6-month blast. Took a little break, and then the 6 through 12 came out later. Really good read, amazing art, killer design in this one. And then a new favorite of mine. I was a little surprised I liked this as much as I did, but this is Keanu Reeves, Matt Kent, Ron Garney, and Bill Crabtree's Berserker. And we had 1 and 2. I just got back into comics when this came out, and this was something I just grabbed to give it a shot, and I was delightfully surprised at the quality of this story. A little violent, I'll warn you, but other than that, it's a very cool. I would call it a science fiction story because it is, but there's also a lot of ground covered, like throughout time. I won't spoil it for anybody. Scott Snyder's We Have Demons series is another one I enjoyed quite a bit. This one has #1 in the Peach Momoko variant. Very cool horror stuff from Scott Snyder. Love it. And then I think I mentioned before I was a little late to the show for Something Is Killing the Children. So I went hog wild and got virtually every cover of House of Slaughter that was available at the regular cover price, and there's a lot of them. This collection had the chrome variant of #1, which, bear with me, usually says on the back exactly what it is. I should have taken it out of the bag before, but I am at least taking the tape off the bag before I'm taking the comic book out because that's how I roll. This is just the foil variant, cleverly named. All right, just a couple more here. Gotta put it back in the bag. And to my delight and surprise, this box also featured Something Is Killing the Children #2, which I believe is the first print, and the variant retailer, unlocked retailer variant of #3. So what I decided to do, because I think this series was like on #17 or something when I started getting back into comics. So I just grabbed all the trades, I read it, and blew my mind. I was like, oh, I should buy these, and they're like super expensive. So now I have the first 3, and I could probably get 4 and up at a more reasonable price. So I'm gonna have to think long and hard about that one. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fill these out and fill out the series and keep these for myself because it's such a really amazing quality read, and I have all of the House of Slaughter books as well as a nice companion. And I've read so much of James Tynion stuff. He's my hero. Anyway, those are the next 2 boxes in the series. We are almost at the finish line. There's a few more left. I'll unpack those pretty soon, and I'll pull the highlights and share them with you. So until then, keep your mind in the gutter.